Welcome to Straight Talk Tuesday for May 5th, 2020. Today we'll be discussing Roth 401k and IRA accounts and why you should consider a Roth conversion in 2020. I'm Rich Myers, and I'm a corporate retirement plan specialist at Retirement Plans, Inc., and this presentation has been put together in conjunction with Brent Bowers, a retirement plan advisor at Retirement Plans, Inc. On the agenda today, we'll be covering three main concepts. The first are the basics around Roth IRAs, and then we'll move into the basics around Roth 401k plans and the difference between the two. Finally, we'll be discussing why you should consider a Roth conversion in 2020. Let's start with the most commonly known Roth account, and that's the Roth IRA. A Roth IRA is an individual retirement account that allows individuals to invest on an after-tax basis. This money is invested in typically stocks, bonds, mutual funds, or ETFs, and the money in the IRA grows tax-free, and then when you go to retire or pull the money out, the earnings are tax-free as well as the principal. Some considerations for Roth IRAs would be, first and foremost, you don't gain any immediate tax benefit as you're contributing after-tax dollars. However, your investments do grow tax-free and are ultimately tax-free to you in retirement. So a couple of things to consider. Are taxes for you going to be higher now or in retirement? If you expect taxes in retirement to be higher, then a Roth IRA could be very advantageous for you. Also, the longer you have for your money to stay in the plan and grow and gain earnings, that could become more advantageous to you as well. Roth IRA contribution limits are capped each year, and we'll cover this on the next slide. But for 2020, it's $6,000 or $7,000 if you're 50 years or older. Roth IRAs are also subject to income limitations and start to phase out for individuals at $124,000. Taking a look now at Roth IRA contributions and the limits revolving around them, you'll notice at the top of this slide that the annual limit in 2020 is $6,000 for an individual that is under 50 years old. And these are subject to certain income limitations, which we've shown here in the middle section of the slide. For an individual, head of household, or someone married and filing separately but not living with their spouse, that income threshold or income limit is $124,000. The maximum amount that someone can put into a Roth IRA starts to phase out once you get above that $124,000 number. For those who are married and filed jointly, or a qualifying widow or widower, the annual max amount that you can make is $196,000 for the year, and it will start to phase out all the way up until $206,000. Lastly, you'll notice out to the far right, if you're married and filing separately from your spouse, but you're living together, it's almost impossible to contribute to a Roth IRA because the income limitation is $10,000. For those of you turning 50 or older in 2020, you're able to contribute an extra $1,000 in what's called a catch-up contribution to a Roth IRA. This brings your annual maximum contribution to $7,000 for the year. Moving into Roth 401ks, these are very similar. The only difference is a Roth 401k is an employer-sponsored investment savings vehicle, and it's, again, funded with after-tax dollars and has different plan contribution limits. So here's a couple of considerations when looking at a Roth 401k plan. Typically, if you're deciding between a pre-tax 401k contribution and a Roth contribution, the Roth contribution is going to cost you more today to make than the pre-tax contribution because you're not getting that tax benefit until retirement. Again, you should be looking to decide, will your taxes be higher now or in retirement? And if you expect them to be higher in retirement, Roth would be the correct way to go for you. And again, your investments will grow tax-free and be tax-free to you in retirement. So the longer you have to allow your investments to grow, the more advantageous this account will be for you. The main differences between a Roth 401k and a Roth IRA are the annual contribution limits, which we'll discuss on the next slide, but they're much higher in the 401k than they are the IRA. Also, there are no income limitations or restrictions revolving a Roth 401k contribution. Lastly, your employer has to allow for Roth contributions before you can make them into the 401k plan. Now taking a look at Roth 401k contribution limits for 2020, you'll notice that they're substantially higher than the IRA limits. For an individual under the age of 50, they're able to put away $19,500 into the 401k for 2020. If you're 50 years of age or older, you can put an additional $6,500 into the 401k plan, bringing your total to $26,000 for 2020. If you remember back to our previous slide, the annual maximum for someone who is over 50 was $7,000 into the IRA total. A lesser-known option of Roth accounts is what's called a Roth conversion. This is an optional decision by the investor to change pre-tax retirement savings into Roth retirement savings. This can be within the 401k plan or within your individual retirement account. This Roth conversion can be a way that individuals above the IRA income limits can still get Roth dollars into an individual retirement account, because there are no income restrictions on who can convert pre-tax to Roth dollars. Keep in mind that taxes will be due when converting from pre-tax to Roth dollars and is treated as ordinary income in the tax year that the conversion happens. As an example, if you convert $20,000 this year from pre-tax to Roth, that will increase your taxable income for the year by $20,000. If you have to withdraw funds to cover the tax payment, then this is likely not a good option for you. You can convert a traditional IRA or previous employer 401k to a Roth account at any time. However, converting a 401k at your current employer is subject to certain plan provisions. So ask your current employer if it's allowable. Now let's take a look at why Roth conversions can be so advantageous to an individual. You'll see it on the top line. If you have $25,000 in a pre-tax 401k or IRA account and an assumed tax bracket of 22%, when you convert from pre-tax to Roth, you would owe $5,500 in taxes that year. However, if we extrapolate that forward 20 years until you retire and assume a 7% annual rate of return on your investments, that $25,000 will turn into $96,742. Now, assuming the same tax bracket of 22%, you would have owed $21,283 on that same account. So, while you would pay the taxes up front, you would end up saving over $15,000 in the long run and wouldn't have to pay those taxes at retirement. If you're expecting to have a lower than average income in 2020 caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, or you're looking to take advantage of tax-free dollars in retirement, the Roth conversion may be a great idea for you to take advantage of this year. If you have questions about Roth IRAs, Roth 401k plans, a Roth conversion, or anything about your retirement plan or individual investments, you can reach out to myself or Brent Bowers at Retirement Plans, Inc. Thanks for joining us for this session of Straight Talk Tuesday. We hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next time.